All right. Well, very strange. Guess sometimes things freeze. Okay. Oh boy. How much work did I lose? That doesn't seem to be too bad. Okay. We're back. Yeah, seems to be. Okay. Well, before I was so rudely interrupted, I was working on this manager initializer prefab that is an orchestration layer for game startup logic. And I don't know if I'm overcomplicating things. I may well be. I do think that there's a merit to kicking these off sequentially. Um, Even if I think at a semantic level it's basically identical to not, but whatever. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I think really the point should broadly be that I need to rethink a little bit of how we were doing managers so that none of them have any dependencies when starting up and instead can handle their basic initialization and then trade references uh, when the game is loading properly. Like when we have all the information that we need to know what levels we're going to load, and X, Y, and Z. So I have to think about that. But outside of that, I think what we can probably do is in the manager initializer start by initializing probably an input manager. Then I think the save manager. And the save manager is the thing that blocks the not the camera manager, blocks containers and items. The load manager uses containers. I mean, this doesn't matter. Initialization is going to be so fast for all of these that it'll happen in under a second. And I think we're making that deterministic, right? Because we're making these all happen, I think, in the same frame. No. Okay. So we initialize one per frame. Oh. That's fine. It does mean that actually, like, we probably want to show a blank screen in the beginning before we. Okay, wait. So what did here? If you are you able to hear me? If you are, type that you can hear me. I actually don't know how much of a delay there is. I think that by default there's a significant one. Ugh. I'll check back. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess okay. So I mean, if you're running at a steady 60 frames per second, then what this would look like is you take a sixth of a second to initialize the managers, which is probably fine. Okay. We still probably want to block on it, but I'll think about that later. Okay. I think from this point it kind of just becomes arbitrary. Sure. We're not really using that one. Sure. Actually, UI manager should probably be at the top, because the UI manager will be active in the main menu. Not that it matters. What we'll probably do, in all seriousness, is hang on. All right. What did you hear? Like, what? I don't actually know when the stream cut out. So what was the last thing that you heard me saying? Because I can explain at least some of the stuff of what I'm working on. So if this handles initialization of all these guys, then I think what should happen? Do any of these... Oh, we're also going to need the dialogue manager. I think that's DDOL, so that should be fine. Let's just need to... Probably. I want to copy pasta this dialogue manager. Haven. Oh dear. Yeah, actually, you know what we can do is we can copy property path. That's fair. Art panel. So, okay. So we have this guy here, and I think all we should need to do is to go back and forth between, which, by the way, fucking obnoxious if there isn't a straightforward way to do that. Dialogue manager, property. Oh, I guess not. So what you would do is copy pasta. I want plugins, no thank you. Okay, there we go. Paste. That should be pretty fast. Then all we really need to do is to go. Can I not just... Copy component. Now that I'm thinking about this, I think that this may have been foolish, because what I can probably do is just take this and get over here. Can I be sneaky? Yes, I can. Cool. So, call this dialogue manager. Should get all of the values, I think. Yep. And if we go into the initializer. We can add our dialog manager. So I guess the question is, does this work? It should just, I mean, none of them have the initializable interface, so that shouldn't get called, but that shouldn't stop them from getting initialized. So if I, instead of what I have in the main menu scene, just kill the loading manager, save manager, input manager entirely. Leave systems in there because it's handling registration. And instead of that, oh, that's plugins, prefabs. Take the manager initializer, put it here. Question is, do I end up with all of my prefabs initialized at the beginning of the game? Yes. Seems to do. I don't hate that. I don't hate that one bit. I think probably what we actually would want is... Manager instance. So it would keep track of its instances, and I think what we probably want is to... Oh, okay. What we probably want is to have a reset. Thank you, Copilot. And eventually we'll create a reset and initialize. Okay, wait, how dumb is what it's actually doing, though? So I guess really, I mean, this is basically what I was thinking. Yeah, no, this is, I guess really it's probably building off code that I wrote in the individual managers and just kind of creating a manager. Oh, either work. The image is 100 Years of Solitude. It was one of the covers that was generated for one of the books by some famous painter, but I can't remember who it is. I'm using it as a placeholder, but it kind of exactly the sort of, I would love to see something like this, except kind of think like paper doll animation, basically. So like layered paper dolls moving around a little bit, representing the characters of the game. But this is exactly the kind of like saturated color painting that I'm interested in. It's I think it may actually have been, if not Matisse, one of the students of Matisse or something like that. But some famous impressionist did it. So if the manager initializer is doing this, I think actually Copilot didn't suck. So I have to read through these to make sure I actually understand what they're doing. The one thing that I do think that should happen here is that probably instantiate managers in a different enumerator than the way that we're initializing them. So understand this, but I think what we can do is, so if we create a serialize, not ser- it doesn't need to be serialized. It would be private iterable. Where did I do this? I did it somewhere else. I can't remember what the type is. Maybe I'm remembering another platform. I definitely did it. I just can't remember where. And this is not helping me. Yes, 3 type files, symbols. Oh, whatever. List game object. This is it'd be list singleton persistent. Incorrect number of type parameters. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a problem. I guess mono behavior, we'll have to cast. That's fine. It's not ideal, but I'll have to think about ways to have to figure out ways to make that less obnoxious. But if we manager prefabs dot select instantiate I think no. No, I guess not. But we should be able to just do another select. A component wouldn't be mono behavior. I think it would be yeah, I guess we should just do it now. All right, where is this? So if we go into utils, if I create a class, call it manager, is this it? I think this is it. I guess you'd have to. How do you do in the singleton? Okay, got it. So we're just passing it one level up. Manager T persistent. No? Angry about. Why are you getting angry at me? Oh, okay. So I guess we have to specify that T is a mono behavior. And that requires importing mono behavior. Okay, cool. And I think that's actually all that we need. I don't think we actually have to specify any specific methods here. So, is there a way to do this without needing to? No, not really. All right. Well. Do I need to? Oh, fuck. I'm sure there's a way to do this. Any? So that's cloud. I don't have them open. What's up? C sharp. I guess this is very specific. Object. That's probably fine. I guess we could just. Oh no! You can probably. This probably just saying manager on a baby. No. Fuck you. Why not? Must be convertible to. This valid syntax? No. Well. Object. Nope. Yeah. Let's do this. I get where you're going with this. Get component manager. Using dynamic for runtime time checking less performant. I think dynamic is what it actually is. Public list. No? Here's the class. This is fucking infuriating. Can't do mono behavior because some of them are gonna have multiple mono behaviors. Okay, I actually don't think that we need instantiation here. I think it's fine for these. So yeah, okay. I disagree. I'll come back and reconsider this, but I don't actually think that we need it because the more I'm thinking about it, the more I would rather handle instantiation at load time. So I think this is wrong for a bunch of reasons because a lot of these are going to require arguments. So for now, I think we can reasonably just do this. Yeah. Get out of here. And I guess for each of these, oh. This way. Okay. So we'll instantiate our managers, but I don't think that initializing makes any kind of sense here. Preset managers. Oh, duh. Okay, actually, I take some of this back. So I guess what we would do is you'd leave the manager instances, be a list of initializables. As long as there's only one initializable manager for each of these, that should be fine. Okay. I still think bottom line. I'd actually like to instantiate them all in the same frame. I think that makes the most sense. It's probably least prone to error. So we instantiate everything. We should never reinstantiate. That would be super inefficient. So instead, we should expose coroutine. Let's do this. And the manager prefab initializer. Let's rename this. Should be a persistent singleton. Okay. This actually is not bad. And if we... So if we have this... and I guess what we would do here is... initializable and instances. So we do frame by frame initialization for all of our initializables. I don't hate that. Yeah, it does mean. Fuck, I actually don't know what it is. Do we have an awake on one of these? Why are all programming languages slightly different? Private new void awake. No, see, okay, I actually think that's wrong. No, maybe it's not. Protected override void awake. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Everything is so damn hard. Okay. So, protected, override, and all right. So call the base awake function. We instantiate the managers in one frame. Elsewhere, we initialize managers, which that's interesting. Hmm. I'm gonna add a to do here. Use a struct allowing some immediately. Because that's probably the way that we would want it to work. Is that you have some managers that are game specific that you want to reset and initialize whenever the player loads, and others you want to have them be active right when the game starts. But that's fine, it's not a big deal. Okay. Coming up for water. For air. Well, here's this. So what should happen now is that if we start the game. Oh, no bugs. Nice. All of our managers get initialized or instantiated, and none of them are initialized. Now, I guess fair point. Like, none of them really have any initialization logic yet, and it would really sort of depend on which, if any, of them. Yeah, that's actually a good point. It kind of already does work that way, doesn't it? Because really, all that would need to happen is if there's further initialization that has to happen for a given manager, that one, because they don't all have to have it, it's just that some of them can have it. So you have manager prefabs, and you select the ones that have an initializable interface. Okay, no, that's actually fine. So it's more that you for the initializables, they need to be in an order that is logical for when they, because their order will be load dependent. So whichever order they're in the array will be the order that they load in, which should probably be specified somewhere, but I don't actually mind that. So cool. Okay. That's kind of slick, actually. So what we would do basically is in our camera manager, for instance, let's try this. And so I guess it's a singleton, and it should be initializable. We need to then implement initialize. Or no. That's what it would be in. Can I just actually? Am I able to? automatically do this now? Oh my god. We live in the future. So what we would do is, yeah. Yep, that's why we do it. Okay, I don't know. Why is it making it a... What the fuck? I guess because it... Yeah. Okay, I get it, but I don't like it. So is it saying that initialize and reset are supposed to be coroutines? How do I feel about that? Kind of sounds messy. I disagree with that. So I'm gonna say make them voids. Probably a few other places where I have to fix that. Um, yeah. So I have changed my mind about these being coroutines. Yeah. So what we'd probably do is manager instances. Okay. That means we don't need this at all. I think same deal for this. Just don't really see the merit of... Actually, like, realistically, I think it's far likelier for this to cause bugs by being a coroutine, because we're waiting between frames. That'd be really stupid. Okay. Same deal here. Simplifies it. Coroutines are cool, but unless there's an obvious reason to use them, I think it just cause issues here. Cool. All right. What? Something is still angry at me. Yeah. I'm more okay with the prospect of initialization being a coroutine, but I also... Yeah, I don't know. I find that more persuasive because it's possible that in the long term we'll have managers that will take longer to initialize, and we want those to be able to run frame to frame. So I guess that's sort of really what the question is if we ever end up with with some kind of initialization that is expensive, then there's a better case to be made for... Oh, I'm sorry, just a second, gotta hop off. Okay. Okay. Well, our systems are back up. So I think I will have to come back and stream later because my actual job calls. But I will be streaming later tonight if you're around. Farewell.